lighting. First, when Evelyn wakes up in her self-made soundproof cellar and realizes that one of the creatures is also there, dangerously close to her newborn child, mise-en-scene is used to create a specific tone in the film A Quiet Place. The lighting in the scene is the most important part of the mise-en-scene, as it helps to create a sense of tension of danger. To explain, the scene has hard lighting because it has a sharp edge, but it is also coated with a flashing red display, which is caused by Evelyn changing the normally neutral light bulb to this color as a signal for help, and this creates chiaroscuro, which communicates the seriousness of the sequence. As a result of how much striking hue of red connotes a warning of danger, an undertone of fear and worry has been produced, which is incredibly fitting for this picture as Evelyn appears to be imprisoned with a vicious creature that is close to her sleeping infant. As a result of how the lighting has been employed to emphasize how the characters are no longer safe, mise-en-scene is working to generate the objective tone of tension and fear, and the audience then experience the feelings of terrifying anxiousness. The idea of how an unexpected change in lighting improves dramatic impression is present in this sequence. So, according to a film art, an introduction refers to the idea of how unexpected changes in lighting may enhance the dramatic effect, which is present in this sequence. The change of lighting from neutral to red emphasizes the dramatic effect of danger suddenly taking over. The film consistently switches between state of safety and danger to elevate horror genre norms, and it does largely with sound, such as changing from creepy background sounds to suspense ones, all to communicate tone to the audience. However, I've demonstrated how mise-en-scene serves the same purposes, and in this case, can arguably trump sound. Here, lighting has a bigger presence than sound and attracts viewers' attention. It serves as an emotional signifier of terror, successfully conveying to viewers that this scene of the film will not be where the actors are safe and out of harm's way.
In A Quiet Place, the environment is part of mise-en-scene that is steered to develop and execute the film's tone. Most notably, since the setting can connote the concept of solitude. The plot of the movie spends most of its time in the forest, except for the town which is completely deserted at the beginning. The setting of the forest can convey the film's lonesome atmosphere by emphasizing the family's seclusion, civilization, and the normal procedure of interaction with others. Because of the backdrop of the forest as their habitat emphasizes how they must rely on each other, the film's undertones of survival and a strong family dynamic have been underlined. The viewer may connect to this lonely setting and feel what it's like to exist outside of a normal society, illustrating the importance of mise-en-scene in defining the tone of A Quiet Place, as well as the audience's objective emotional response. These settings can also differentiate between the different tones of safety and danger. This event can be seen in the scene where Lee and his son Marcus are sitting by a waterfall, which isolates any sound they make in that one area, allowing them to speak freely. As a result, the previous mood of apprehension toward the creatures attacking that comes with being outside in the film's universe has been removed. The film has now transported the protagonist from a predicament where no sound can be made by the characters since the monsters can catch up on it, to a more secure setting where the loud sounds have been excluded by the waterfall. As a result, there may be a strong contrast between this scenario and others dependent on the surroundings. For instance, the scene at the house where Regan destroys a lamp, causing a big bang, and then there is an intense of minute waiting to see if creatures are nearby. The setting of the family home illustrates the image of the family being trapped, which contributes to the mood of danger. The setting of the waterfall, on the other hand, provides for safe verbal contact and thus contrasts with the setting of the house in terms of safety and danger. The audience picks up on this shift in tone of relaxes in the quiet environment created by the waterfall's location. So, mise-en-scene is working to reflect the protagonist's peaceful states of mind onto the audience. This demonstrates the mise-en-scene of a setting in a contrast tone, particularly the contrast between safety and endangerment, much as lighting does in the basement segment, because of how the two aspects coincide with another in emphasizing the relaxing tone. I would say that setting is working with sound rather than empowering it in this sequence. The waterfall serves as a refuge and allows the sound to be liberated as Lee and Marcus are given the opportunity to share their inner thoughts, which are crucial to the film's plot, such as Regan's sense that her father blames her for her brother's murder. As a result, the mix of sound and setting is being constructed to elicit a guarded tone and relax emotional responses. Nevertheless, I believe that sound will gain more attention for creating these effects during this scene. Therefore, I've argued that mise-en-scene is just as crucial.
Movement. Emily Blunt's performance skillfully elicits emotional responses from the audience, namely pity. The character's situation in the scene is the one of the tremendous struggle as she in labor and attempting to conceal from the creature in the order to prevent death. Blunt uses her facial expression and body to indicate anxiety and her dread. Her eyes are big, her breathing is rapid, and her face is covered in tears, with her mouth biting down on her sleeve to keep her from crying out in a pain. Because these features cause the audience to feel sympathy as well as their own dread for the character. Miss Scene in the performance style is eliciting an emotional response from the audience and I feel has much stronger presence than sound. Furthermore, one scene that I thought was very executed was Lee Abbott's sacrifice of his life to save his children, Regan and Marcus, who were being assaulted by one of the creatures. The most important aspect in terms of properly constructing the scene tone is undoubtedly the John Cushing performs primarily because of the feeling his character experiences are grabbed by his expression and gesture and entirely keep the spectator undivided attention. To begin, the man uses sign language to tell his deaf daughter, "I love you and I have always loved you," creating a heavy affection tone that picks up the film's central mood of strain, suffocating suspense, thereby having a significant influence on the audience. However, there are sad overtone to this gesture because the character is about to devote his life to safeguard his children's lives. And this will be the last time Regan sees him sign this adoring statement given the narrative context of Regan, feeling as her father blames her for the death of her younger brother in the film's opening. The addition of "I have always loved you" and just a powerfully shows this is that case, and bittersweet tone is emphasized as Regan has discovered this liberating truth too late. Krasinski adds to this with his facial expression, which is a mix of compassionate and melancholy, of evidence by his watery eyes, a hint of a smile, and intense stare. Even tiny gesture like closing his eye before signing the word always show the depth of his love, which contributes the eliciting an emotional responses and setting the tone. These emotions are reflected into the audience as a result of the amount of attention given to the performance. And they feel sorrowful toward the people and predicament. Hence, the performance in the segment aids in communicating the heartbreaking tone. Krasinski's action in this scene helped to create a sorrowful atmosphere by showing the character heartbreak at what has been through. The heartfelt piano music in the background communicate these sentiments, but movements also help and play a vital function by attracting the attention of the audience and therefore making meaningful.
Wardrobe. Fashion is the last things on anyone's mind in a universe of A Quiet Place. It's all about survival and dressing in a way that's both comfortable and sensible. What has pockets to keep more supplies, or what give you the most movement when fleeing a monster? Regan, Millicent Simmons, the oldest daughter, wears a dark jumpsuit similar to the coveralls worn by mechanics. It is made of a thick cloth that covers her full body and protects her from thorns and sticks in the outdoors. It's also large, so it's not only comfy, but it also defies Simmons' character's idea of femininity. This distinction is crucial in demonstrating a change in her persona, who has transitioned from longer, airy skin to shorter, more fitted skirt. Regan's costuming portrays genuineness in more masculine presentations or attire that is normally though ugly, such as baggy sweatpants and big t-shirts. These aren't clothes for impressing the public, rather, they're clothes for when the last thing in our minds is looking good for the camera. Evelyn's Emily Blunt, flowy sundresses and freely braided hair, in contrast to Regan's tracksuit, add an almost frightening flash of colors to the drab environment. At first glance, it appears that wearing such a garment confines Evelyn's persona to a very narrow box, one determined by gendered assumption of the mother figure. Even though she is portraying traditional femininity, she is nevertheless able to protect herself and her children while slinging a shotgun and toting around the baby in a box. It is her mental strength, not her dress, that characterizes her. Evelyn epitomizes this concept as stereotypically feminine mother who, despite her appearance, exudes a tough attitude that defies aesthetics. As you can see, no shoes were worn in the movie since the characters were around barefoot in order to reduce the sound.